What's going on, everybody? Brandon here at B West Builds. We're not working in the garage tonight. We got to go out to the driveway and change the starter in the OBS F150 because it cooked the starter, and I've tried beating on it, hitting it. She won't go. So got a new starter today at the parts store, and we're going to get it changed out. So come along with me. Hopefully you can see it's 10 o'clock at night. It's dark out, but we're going to get her changed. I'll just show you guys real quick what this thing's doing. Yeah, she just clicks. And I did check for power at the starter, and we're getting full power. So, yep, let's get her changed out. Alrighty, got the hood opened up on this thing. First thing I did was disconnected the battery right here. Just take your negative cable off and just kind of tuck it out of the way. That way, just in case you decide to arc anything out on that starter, if the battery's hooked up, it can mess the starter up and spark, and we don't want that. So I'm just gonna take that battery cable off. All right, let's get underneath the truck, and I will do the best I can to show you guys, because like I said, it's dark out, it's pitch black. All right, I got you guys under the truck now with me. The 2-sensor wire might be in my way a little bit, but there's the old rusty, crusty starter. There's the terminals right there I need to take off. That primary wire for that solenoid looks nasty, but don't worry, because we're gonna cut that back and splice a new one on. The new starter comes with a little wire lead off that. It's made a little bit different than the originals. I'm pretty sure this is the original starter to the truck, just given how bad it looks, and it's got the old spade terminal connector on there on that solenoid. So all right, let me figure out what tools I need. I'll take you guys back up there with me once I get some of the stuff unhooked. All right, there's what I'm working with right there. I got that spade terminal off. I did get the top bolt out there. Bottom one is loose. I'm just leaving it in there just so the starter don't come out at a high rate of speed on me. Right now, I'm gonna work on getting that main battery cable off the starter. And if I didn't say earlier in the video, this is an OBS Ford. It's a 1995 F150 50 4x4. So if you've got any model 50 Ford, or probably any Ford made in the 90s, your starter probably looks a lot like this. So this could apply to more vehicles. I'm just not quite sure. So yeah, let's get that sucker off there. I'll try and get as much video as I can. I have no way to hold my phone, so this will just kind of be like a step-by-step deal. I'll just show you guys each step as I go. Now, if anyone's wondering, the starter bolts that attach the starter to the transmission are 1/2 inch. And if you've ever worked on anything in the 80s and 90s, you know that they love just standard and metric fasteners on these things. So these are 1/2 inch bolts. This battery lug that I'm about to take off the starter is a 13 mil. So try to get as little rust in my eyes as I can. Should have been wearing my safety squints. Let's get that battery cable off there. we go. Now is when the starter tries to come out and hit you in the head. Alright, I will have to put my phone down for this next part because I gotta take this bolt the rest of the way out, and I gotta finagle this starter out through all this stuff here, so bear with me. And just like that, she's out. She's out on the ground. Yep, crusty as ever. Looks like that thing's been on there since about 1995, which, you know, 100 and almost 80,000 miles on this thing. I'd say that's pretty damn good for an old Ford starter. And hey, look at that. There's the flex plate and torque converter. And teeth on the ring gear for the flex plate look good. At least in that section there, so we'll just call that good. And if you ever want to know where your casting number is on a lot of these 5.0s and 5.8 and 351 Windsors, right there. 4K 3.1, whatever that means. So yeah, if you ever want to find your casting number on your Ford Windsor series engine, right there. And then of course you got the block plate in between the engine and transmission. That's Ford. Okay, so yep, there you go. I'll show you getting this wire taken care of here and what we're going to do about that. And yeah, let's check our new starter. I'll show you guys real quick while I can still hold the phone and show you something at the same time. Don't mind my cardboard diaper box here I'm using as a ground barrier. Okay, so first thing you want to do is get your starter out, your new starter, and make sure it's the same, which it is. I've already checked this one. It's the same as what I got. You want to make sure you got the right size for this battery lug right here, which I believe is going to be a 13. I'm going to double check that here. And this is what I'm talking about. There's a crimp splice right there. And they give you a nice little piece of heat shrink sleeve too on here, already pre-shrunk on one side. So what we're going to have to do, and a lot of Ford starters come like this, is there's no spade terminal on this one. It's just goes right to a lug on this starter solenoid. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut that wire, that spade terminal off, and we're going to have to strip the wire back, put it in here, and crimp it. I'll show you guys how to do that. But like I said, a lot of Ford starters do come with this. I think it's just to ensure a better connection to the starter itself. It's got this here little nice tag on it here telling you, you know, removing this is a federal offense. But so yeah, we'll show you how to do that here. Alrighty, so I got that spade terminal cut off. I got that wire stripped back, and I know before you say anything, I know that insulation's cracked on that wire. The freaking thing's probably cracked all the way into this harness because, like I said, this truck's not had a whole lot done to it. It's freaking 1995, so. And that old ass crusty spade terminal was starting it up until the other day, so. But yep. So there's that. Let's get this starter bolted in, and then I will show you what you need to do to connect that wire. Alright, and I've got my starter bolted in right there. As you can see, those are snugged up and tight. And I don't have my main battery lug tight yet. It's just on there. You don't want to tighten those down. I mean, you want to tighten them down tight, but not. You don't want to really rip on them because then it will strip the lug out of the solenoid. You don't want to do that. Okay, I've got that stuck in there. I did strip it back a little bit far, but that's okay. The heat shrink will cover that up. I've already checked to make sure it will. That way I don't have to put additional heat shrink on there. So I'm going to go ahead and crimp that and what I'm gonna do is use something like that right there. Just with that little divot and that nib right there, squeeze that down, and then get that crimped on. Run my heat shrink up, heat shrink that sleeve on there, tighten my main battery lug down, and this job will be just about done. So let's do that and I'll get back with you guys. Alrighty, as you can see there, we had a little change of action. That metal crimp sleeve was, I couldn't squeeze it down, I couldn't crimp it with the pliers that I had, and I ended up getting it kind of bent up, so I cut it off and used a yellow heat shrink butt splice connector, which is essentially all that other piece was. It was just a metal sleeve, so I got that heat shrunk down on there, and I've got some more heat shrink sleeve to put over it just to make sure that it doesn't get any moisture or corrosion inside of it. So I just want to show you guys that real quick before I did that. So I'm gonna get that heat shrink on there, and then we're gonna tighten that battery lug down, and we're pretty much done. Alright, we're all done under here. Got my battery lug tightened down. Got that all heat shrunk down where it looks good. And the little heat shield there back on top of the solenoid. I think that's just a little heat shielding from the exhaust there. Like I said, you don't want to get that, you don't want to really cram down it. You want to get it good and snug, just to where, you know, it gets that lock washer flat. But you don't want to keep cranking on that thing, because it'll strip the lug inside of the solenoid out and ruin it. So, all right, let's get this thing, let's get the battery hooked up and let's see what she does. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what she does. There we go. Must have did something right. Up good. Old Black Betty lives again. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I know that wasn't a very good instructional video, just kind of a few pointers along the way. Again, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.